Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we got another great episode. We're continuing our episodes in ballistic testing of micro 9mm pistols, particularly the HK CC9, this time with the Winchester Silver Tip 147 grain. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. Okay, so we are talking about the Winchester Silver Tip ammunition. It's their 147 grain self-defense jacketed hollow point. It is not a plus P round, but we're going to see how it does as subsonic round coming out of a little micro compact barrel. This is a 3.3 inch barrel with the HK CC9. That puts it longer than the traditional P365 and shorter than the P365 XL, so it's a good place for us to be doing our testing with. I really do like the HK CC9, very reliable pistol, as it has been for me, and it's a fun one to shoot, and so that's why I like doing some of my testing with it. We've been shooting where we have our setup in ballistic gel, where we've got 2 layers of t-shirt, 2 layers of denim, followed by 2 inches of ballistic gelatin, then a 1/4 inch of medium density fiberboard, followed by a whole bunch more of ballistic gel so that we capture that bullet and see what it's doing. Now the curious thing that we like to look at is what does it do when it hits that barrier in there of the medium density fiberboard? Does that start the bullet to tumble? We also like to see when the the jacketed hollow points, when they go through that denim and t-shirt, do they get clogged and do they still open up? Especially when we have a small and short micro 9mm, if it's going to really get the job done in terms of barrel length, so we're getting the velocity out of it so that we still get the intended expansion and performance on the intended target. So those are some of the things that we look at. We also just shoot into the bare naked gel because sometimes you have bare naked attackers and you got to be ready for those. All right, well, that's our testing, and that's what we're working on today. Should be a good time. 147. We have that 147 grain Winchester Silver Tip ammunition out of our HK CC9, and we got our first test set up with the 2 layers of denim, 2 layers of t-shirt, 2 inches of clear ballistic gel, followed by that medium density fiberboard, and then more clear ballistic gel. Turning on the slow motion camera, and it's raining, and I got to get moving. We got 10, 11. Let's go down, see what it did. Okay, well, I really like what this did in here. So it went through our board, cut a regular board, a regular size hole in that, so 0.355, didn't expand very much in the first couple of inches. But then we got some very nice fluted spiraling in this gel block. Looks like we got some decent expansion. Went pretty deep out there. Gosh, what did we get to? We got out to about 21 inches, 21.5 inches, a little bit deeper penetration. Just goes to show slow sometimes gets you a little bit more penetration. I don't think we probably got great expansion out of this round. Pull that out real quick. Again, just taking a look at that, you can see we got some peel back. One of the leaves didn't peel back very much, so 0.45. If you take that one in, sure, it got 0.559, but most of it was about 0.47, inches. So expanded a little bit, but almost on the verge of not expanding out of that micro 9mm. But it did decent damage in there. Let's take all this stuff off and shoot another one. Okay, we got just the bare naked gel up. Start the slow motion camera, see what we can do. We went right next to the other shot. Well, let's go see what it did. I may get one more round, shoot another one. Okay, yeah, the wound tracks on that were so tight, but we did get just a little bit more expansion. That often happens when you remove the barriers and the clothing, but let's shoot that one more time. All right. Well, we got to make sure we turn on the slow motion camera, or this is all for naught. There's no point of even doing it. Okay, here we go. It's a little different spot. We'll see how that performed. Okay, and we got 10-11 on the velocity reading on that one, and this is the front one that came in here, got out to, what is that? That's probably at about 16 inches of gel penetration. Yeah, well, no, about 13.5 inches. Again, our blocks are 16 inches long and got up about 13.5 inches. Yeah, not bad. And we take a look at it. The wound track looks like a great hollow point wound track. Looks like it's doing all the things you would expect the jacketed hollow point to be doing. So let's pull that out, not fling it across the whole range. And we can compare and look at, yeah, that's a much wider, expanded one. Let me get out my calipers. Everything's getting wet and ruined. I wonder how much of even my camera stuff is even gonna work after this range trip. Yeah, so 0.56, 0.57, much more expansion out of that bullet than we did the previous one, where it just, especially with that clothing and everything, it just wasn't getting the expansion that we would like to see on it. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's what we're left with today. Taking a look at the other two that we have, this was the one I just shot and wanted to redo. So this second one got more expansion than that one. Interesting. Some variation, both into clear gel. And then this one was the first one we shot that got the least amount of expansion. So hopefully you can see those. Yeah, all right. Well, let's go and to get some velocity readings on this. We have our Garmin 0C1 out. We're going to shoot a 5-shot group for velocities. See what kind of performance we're getting out of this. 1,000, 994, 1,011, 1,012, 1098. Yep, I'm not getting locked back, but that sometimes happens with this HK CC9. I think it's my fat fingers and hands. Okay, for that average, we got a 1,007, a min of 981, a max of 1012. Is that right? Yeah, max 1012, extreme spread of 31, standard deviation of 11, average kinetic energy of 326.8 if my eyes are not deceiving me. That's not great in hot ammunition, but again, this may be something that you'd like to carry. Some people like that heavy for caliber, especially with 9mm stuff. I'd probably try to go plus P, but yeah, it's not doing bad here. Okay, we are back at 7 yards, which is where I like to test my 9mm guns, average self-defense distance. And so we are going to see how the ammunition prints on paper. Does it hit relatively center? Is it low and to the right, up and above? Relative to where my dot is zeroed, which is zeroed for 124 grain plus P federal ammunition. So we're going to test that out. Also, hey, sometimes you see on paper that it's starting to tumble midair. This will give us a little bit of insights into what's going on with the ammunition. I expect it to be performing just fine, and we'll see how well I can shoot today. Okay, well, when I close one eye, I don't see two dots. That's important for me. And for our accuracy at 7 yards, that's a pretty good group, all within the 10 ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's pretty good. Again, those are my fingers and all covered up by two little parts of the finger. So yeah, I think the ammunition is fine, and actually I'm fine today too. All right, well, we're gonna close this off in a little bit different scenario. I'm gonna put my camera in my car because I'm worried about it getting too wet. If it's not one end of the extreme, it's the other. I've been shooting in snow, but now I'm shooting in rain. Obviously, it's a bit warmer than it has been, and I'm really grateful for that, but I wish it wasn't always raining or doing something weather-wise. I wish just nice sunny days, no breeze. Look forward to those times. Not today. All right, well, we had a pretty good time out today. We got to shoot our HK CC9. We shot the Winchester 147 grain Silver Tip. It performed pretty well in our test today, although I will say that, you know, especially when we had our full contraption out, we got the denim and the t-shirt and the other stuff going on, it didn't quite get what I was wanting in terms of expansion. It got certainly great penetration in all of our tests, which is great, and that's with that 147 grain bullet. That's why a lot of folks like that so much, I mean, because they worry about getting deep enough penetration with the light ammunition, like the 115 grain ammunition and 9mm. So I think that that's important for us to consider, is that you may like this type of ammunition. And it did get decent expansion. I think it's right on that edge though, and so I'd be worried, and I'd probably want to shoot plus P. Not that you're going to get tons more velocity out of these short barrels, but maybe just enough to consistently get the expansion that you hope and need out of this HK CCM or these micro 9mm pistols. Of course, the downside to that is when you go up in velocity, especially on these 147 grainers, you are going to get a little bit more recoil. And on these really tiny guns where you can only get really one hand really solid on it and the other hand just wrapping around that hand, recoil control does tend to go down. So that's something to consider with using these small guns, is can you get the performance out of it, and can you manage that recoil on it, especially when you go to that plus P ammunition. Okay, well, I think that these are some useful information. I hope that you did too. Please put in the comments below if you found it useful or what you thought was interesting. I hope everyone has a great week, and let's get to shooting.
From pistols to rifles, we'll take on the best. Review and each weapon, put them to the test. With revolvers and shotguns, we'll break it all down. The Second Amendment protects from the crown. Living for freedom.